Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Zips Weekly with head football coach Joe Moorhead, brought to you each week by Bryan Heating and Cooling and the Akron Fairlawn Hilton Hotel. Well, if you were at InfoCision Stadium Saturday night, you watched the Zips come from 17 points down to knock off Colgate 31-20. Now it's right back on the road Saturday night as they take on a good football team down at South Carolina. That'll be a 7:30 kickoff down in Columbia. Coach, we're going to watch highlights, some great highlights in that first half. Just wanted to tell you, I walked through the tailgate area before the game on Saturday, talked to a lot of fans out there, parents, former players, and they wanted to let you know they love the TV show. They love watching you every week. I thought I'd give you a little plug there. They love it.
That's good. That's because of you, not because of me.
No,
so
they love
congratulations.
You. They
Very well done.
They said say hello to the coach.
Excellent.
Also, University of Akron students, we want to thank you for coming out to the game on Saturday, especially those 9 students in the front row that had their shirts off that spelled Akron Zips. Now, Coach, here's the challenge for those guys. I want to see them right back on that November 26th game against Toledo with their shirts off.
Absolutely.
How's that sound?
Let's do it.
That shows dedication.
Absolutely. Thanksgiving week, a little cold weather, and we'll see how they respond.
There you go. Another comment, of course, I do the games with Dave Scos, and we're down 17-0, and he looks over at me and he says, "What do you think, Joe?" And I said, "Well, we're 17 down. I'm looking down at Coach Moorhead. He looks very cool, calm, and collected. I'm not sure what's going on in his stomach, but what was going on in your stomach 17 down?"
Yeah, thinking about Murphy's Law, because for the first 10 minutes of that game, what could go wrong did.
Yeah.
You know, first drive score against our defense, special teams miscue, 3 and out on offense, and next thing you know, Colgate's up 17-0,
yeah.
And we were, really had a decision to make as a team.
When did you think things started turning around? We went right back after him after it was 17 down, but when did you feel we were in control of this thing?
Yeah, I think once it got to 17-14,
yeah.
And we got that second touchdown, you could feel the momentum swinging in our way in favor a little bit. But the great thing was there was no panic on the sideline,
right.
No finger pointing, no arguing. Guys got settled in, made our adjustments, and just took it, as we always say, one play at a time with no clock and no scoreboard.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, let's go back to InfoCision Stadium on Saturday night. Watch the football game. Turns out to be a great night, and the Zips win number 1 against Colgate. Colgate wins the toss, and they want that football. They want to go on offense, Coach.
Yeah, trying to make a statement early, and they did. So that's to their credit. Coach Stokowski had a great plan. They called a good game on all 3 phases, and drove the length of the field.
No surprises, Coach. We talked about their quarterback, Mike Gracia, last week running the football. He definitely came out running at us.
Now, he's been there. It seems like he's been there forever. I mentioned that to the kid after the game, like, when do you graduate? But been a great player in the league, and he's a huge kid, runs the ball well, throws it accurately, and made a bunch of good plays. People
didn't realize he's 6'3", about 230, so he can punish people.
No, he's built like a house. He's a big kid.
Of course, they go down and score right away, 7-0. You're coming back on defense, Coach, and here we take a look from ground level, another big hit. I'll tell you, Darian Lewis, we're going to talk about him later. I thought he had a heck of a game.
Yeah, he and Brian McCoy, we selected as the team players of the game on defense, and both those guys really flew around and made a lot of plays.
Picking up action right now, still in the first quarter, Akron down 14-0, and it's not going to end there. They're going to come right back, but here's another big play. I think that's Paul Lewis coming across, isn't it?
Yeah, Paul flying off the hash. Yeah, he actually had 2 interceptions that he dropped. Maybe that's why those defensive guys don't play receiver. But we actually missed 4 opportunities on interceptions. We were in great position for coverage, and unfortunately weren't able to make the play.
Saw that pass out to Bobby Golden, and then Ben Finley takes off and gets good yardage.
Yeah, started to get into a little bit of rhythm, mixing the run and the pass, getting the ball out to our playmakers, and the guys were able to, move sticks and help us get into the end zone.
Saw Jake Newell catch a pass, and he's starting to become a big part of the offense. Big guy, 6'4", about 240.
Gaining a bunch of confidence, improving in the run game with his blocking. Doing a nice job with his routes, very soft hands. So it's good to see Jake continue to improve.
From ground level, nice pattern by Bobby Gold, and Ben Finley hits him in stride. We're down 17-0. We're going to score right here. That's Charles Kellum coming out of the backfield. He's wide open, Coach.
Yeah, a little bit of a breakout game for Bobby and Charles as well. A little bit of a dual RPO there with the flat and then the corner route in the shovel. And first read was open, got it to him on time, and he's the beneficiary of the touchdown tie.
Touchdown tie to Charles Kellum. We're now down 17-7. Going over the 2 deep the other day, Coach. I keep mentioning players, and most of these guys are underclassmen. They got a lot of football yet to play.
Yeah, there's another Paul Lewis pass breakup. But yeah, we have a bunch of guys, whether they're portable guys with multiple years or young kids like AD there in his second season. We got a bunch of talented youth on the roster that's gaining experience.
This Charles Kellum just steps out of bounds. He gets into the end zone. Coach made a nice move. Gets in there, but he just stepped out of bounds. They're going to spot that at about the 7 or 8.
Yeah, a little RPO there for Jake. Ben makes a good read. And as I talked about, we had 2 post-play celebration penalties. Those kids are going to understand kind of why we don't do that after practice the next few days, and get those things cleaned up. We want more of the good plays, less of the acting like we haven't been there before.
Exactly. It's now 17-14. Zips are down by only 3, but they're going to come back and score again here in the first half. Well, this is Daring Lewis again. What an interception that was. Number 1 to catch it, number 2 to stay in bounds.
Yeah, great play. We're in quarters. They tried a little bit of a stock and go. Tried to get that thing off the sideline. Did a good job with his eye discipline. We were in quarters. He drove off the hash. Made a great play.
Ben Finley again. Boy, Bobby Golden got some separation, Coach, and he didn't even set his feet here, Coach. He just let it go.
No, and he needs to do more of that. Step up in the pocket instead of stepping back and circling. We got to clean up the protection, but Ben's got to do his part by making sure he's stepping up into the dead area. But once again, breakout game for Bobby, kid who's always worked tremendously hard, very accountable. Has worked on our track team as well, and good to see him putting it all together.
Until Alex Adams comes back, he's pretty much your deep threat, isn't he?
Yeah, he and AD are the guys that are really stretching the field vertically right now from the Z and the X position.
Zips now have the lead in this football game, 21-17. We mentioned they were down 17-0, now up 21-17. Quarterback still trying to run it, and again, that's Paul Lewis.
Yeah, they do a great job with the run game, creating extra numbers with the quarterback stuff and the lead blocking, and we had to do a good job putting some edges on the defense and keeping that thing inside. And I thought it was some good adjustments by our staff.
Going to throw it out again to the tight end, Jake Newell. And once he squares his shoulders, he's tough to bring down.
Yeah, good corner out there by AD against cover 2 to the boundary. Had a little bit of high-low there. Did a great job at the top, sticking safety, getting leverage, and Ben was able to layer that thing over top of the corner.
Extra point is up and good. And suddenly, after down 17, the Zips are up right now. 28-17. Coach, you saw it. They got down to 17-14. You had confidence in your football team, kind of a gut check early, but they came back big time.
Yeah, I was very proud. We always talk about 2 things: response to prosperity, which for the most part was good outside of those 2, celebration issues, and then our response to adversity. What are we going to do when the times are the toughest and a play needs to be made the most? And it was good to see. Because we very easily could have folded, and we know historically those things have sometimes gone the other way, and we said it. If we want to be different, we got to be different, and this looked like to me a different football team from a mentality standpoint.
Zips are up 28-17 at halftime. We're going to take a break. Come back with second half highlights right after this.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Let's go!
Okay, welcome back to Zips Weekly with head football coach Joe Moorhead. We are now ready to take a look at second half highlights. Zips up right now 28-17, going to be a very low scoring second half. The Zip defense is going to play really well. We're going to get a field goal from Garrison Smith to get us at 31. But Coach, what did you see in that second half that I know you had some concerns talking to you after the game?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good job by the defense, coming out and only allowing 3 points and kind of limiting the length of the drives and doing a good job getting off the field. You know, offensively, you know, 3 points isn't good enough. We moved the ball between the 20s. They started blitzing almost 75% of the snaps or more, and we didn't do a great job with protection, getting the ball out on time and kind of moving the sticks. So moved it between the 20s, didn't put enough points on the board. Thought the defense did a really nice job settling in and, you know, keeping them to a field goal.
That defense showing some quickness there and a lot of swarm tackling, which you like, 4 or 5 people on the hit.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I mentioned, we really needed to great catch here by Simmons on the RPO on the mic. But yeah, defense did a great job, like I said, putting edges on the defense, keeping that thing inside, and kind of limiting some of the things they were able to do from the pass game standpoint because we were able to get a pretty good pass rush. Yeah,
Colgate's only points came on a 45-yard field goal. That was late in the third quarter. Did not allow them in the end zone, although we pretty much gave them great field position twice in the first half.
Yeah, we did on the shank punt and then on the fumbled punt return. So, yeah, and here's another example of us getting down in there and, you know, getting that field goal. But I mean, we were in the red zone, I believe 8 times, had 6 scores, and came out twice without points. And we can't have that, particularly moving forward as we get into, you know, this last money game and into the MAC season.
Of course, you were deep, though. At the end of the game, you weren't going to put anything on the board then, but you could have put some points on if you had to.
Yeah, I mean, the plan was to run the ball once, and then if they didn't call a timeout, take a bunch of knees. But they kept calling timeouts, so we kept running plays. But yeah, we weren't going to, you know, throw any into the end zone there at the very end.
Your punter, Avery Book, I think is top 5 in the country right now in punting.
He's doing a fantastic job. Coach Mavico scheming up protection, you know, mixed between traditional punt with the shield, and then he's obviously very adept at the rugby style. So great portal acquisition, great evaluation, and the kid's doing a really nice job along with the long snapper and the protection units as well.
Your linebackers continue to play well. We see that was kind of a jump ball, Coach. The quarterback sometimes has confidence in his receiver. He'll just throw it up there and let him make a play.
Yeah, that was a read route against the 2 high safety there. We were thinking post and kind of double clutched. We were able to get it to AD, and, you know, 2 receivers over 100 yards for the first time in a while. I think AD had 12 for 150. Bobby may have had a little bit less, but the 300-yard passer, 200-yard receivers, that's kind of what I'm accustomed to in the system. Now we just got to add a 100-yard rusher to that mix, and we'll be dancing.
Here he is again, making a clutch catch, kind of split the defenders, and he's got good hands.
Yeah, third down, they were in a 20 Tampa look, and the Mike stayed in the middle, and the safety didn't get off the hash. So Ben did a good job, as you could see there, holding 34 on the hash there with his eyes, and able to sneak that thing in over top of the corner.
Zip defense swarming it again, and all MAC defensive end there is going to come in and strip it away.
Yeah. Great job there. Great job with the you know, the recovery. Poor job with the celebration. And as I mentioned, that's not what we're about, and we're not going to do those things anymore. Or they can find a nice warm seat on the bench.
That was C.J. Nunnally celebrating a little bit, and now we're just going to pretty much run out the clock. Coach could have put some points on the board, but we're going to win the football game 31-20. You shake hands with the coach. I think you know a little bit about.
Yeah, Coach Dukowski's been there forever. He's done a phenomenal job, and you know, they will be a team that I envision competing for the Patriot League championship this year. Very well coached, very physical, do a nice job in all 3 phases, and, you know, great to come away with the win.
Yep. Zips win at 31-20. We're going to take a break, come back. Segment 3 each week. We let the coach talk about some of the players that had outstanding performances. So don't go away. We're back with more Zips Weekly right after this.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant. Whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Dear Dr. Roque, thank you for being an amazing faculty member at the University of Akron. I have definitely become a better version of myself throughout my time at UA with your help.
Wow. Thank you. It's all about the students. They're more than just names on tests.
He has been really there for me. There are people that are there to help you understand, whether it's material in a class or it's just life advice.
Gotcha.
Each week at this time, we talk to the coach about some of the outstanding performances, let him talk about some of his players, get his views on how they played, and maybe look ahead to the future in this football program. Let's talk about the quarterback, Ben Finley. Coach, he needed a quarterback. You went out and got Ben Finley, had experience at North Carolina State and Cal. We talked after the game. He needed a breakout game, and I think he got one on Saturday.
He did. He was really scratching the surface of doing some really nice things against Ohio State, and saw him improve against Rutgers. We have a very deep and talented room with Ben, and obviously the role that Taj is playing right now, and the young Rigaud kid. But to come out and throw for over 350, 4 touchdowns, could have been even more if we would execute a little bit better in the second half. But certainly a huge performance for Ben, and a nice confidence builder for him as the season moves on.
I mentioned Coach in the first segment. He's got a quick release. You'd like him to set his feet, I'm sure, but he gets that ball away in a hurry.
Yeah, like the buzzword for the quarterback community these days is called off-platform throws.
Okay.
So it's very rare that you take 3 steps and 1 hitch or 2 hitches and kind of throw in a traditional with a traditional base. But he's certainly good, resetting his feet, throwing on the move, different arm angles and things like that. Like I said, we got to get him quieted down a little bit more. And I think improving the protection will help him quiet his feet down. But, yeah, certainly a guy who's nimble and can kind of manipulate his body and in his throwing angles. It makes for a guy that can make a lot of plays. Let's
talk about the tight end position, Coach. We talked a lot during the first and second half highlights about Jake Newell, but I've been impressed with that young Connor Krabick, the young freshman out of Cincinnati. Looks like he's number 2 right now and has a bright future.
Yeah, another one of these young developmental prospects. Broke his arm early in camp last year and battled through some health issues. Getting back to speed, putting some weight on, gaining confidence, understanding the system a little bit better. And between he and Max Wisner, that's a nice 2 and 3 depth chart there behind Jake.
I talked to Adrian Norton after the game, Coach, and I will say this about this young man: he does not lack confidence. He is pretty secure in his ability, right?
No, AD does not lack confidence. And as I always say about quarterbacks, you want to live right on that in that gray area between confidence and cockiness. And a lot of the great ones, live in that world, and he has shown a lot of playmaking ability the first 3 weeks. So hopefully he can, not drink the Kool-Aid, because too much sugar gives you cavities.
Exactly.
We got to stay humble and hungry and keep working. But all that to say, he loves football. So he's not a guy that just shows up on game day. He's in the film room extra, studying his craft, working with Coach Brookhart. Practices very hard. So all those things usually are a recipe for guys to have success.
I think it was last year or the year before, Coach, we were sitting here in the set, and you were talking about Bobby Gold, and he had just, I think, muffed a punt, and you called him that night and said, don't worry about it. You're going to win a lot of football games and make a lot of big plays for us in the future, and he did that on Saturday.
Yeah, the Bowling Green game, we fielded that punt inside the 5 and fumbled it, and that led to a touchdown in addition to a pick 6 where we gifted them 14 points. But at the end of the day, we're dealing with 18 to 21-year-old young men who are still in the developmental phase of their lives, both mentally and physically. And, you can't let one mistake or one game, define your career. And we knew Bobby was going to be a guy that continued to work hard. And now it's good to see someone, rewarded for their effort.
Exactly. I'll let you give the grade on the offensive line, Coach. You didn't talk much about it during the highlights. What did you think of their performance on Saturday?
I thought it was improved.
Okay.
We still have some strides to make in terms of pass protection against movement and against pressures. And the same thing with the run game. We're good when we're lined up and, the guys are staying in their gap. When the picture change or things are coming from different levels, we got to work and improve there. So was happy with the pass pro. Think that can get better. Didn't run it from a production standpoint as much as I would have liked. But at the end of the day, they were bringing so much pressure. There's only so many runs that work when you're outnumbered. And, I thought it was a positive step forward for the offensive line.
Let's talk about the secondary, Coach. I thought you had 2 outstanding performances. Darian Lewis, 12 tackles. Paul Lewis, the transfer from Cornell, had some big hits. That group's starting to get the chemistry back there a little bit.
Yeah, Smurf, D. Paul Lewis, Noel Roach got some time in there. There's, we really like to cross-train our guys on the back end, and Coach Redden does a nice job between the nickel position, the field, and the boundary safety, making sure those guys, all have the ability to play all 3 positions. And, we ask our safeties to do a lot in terms of, coverage disguise and, playing single high, playing man, playing zone, and certainly being, physical and run support. And that group has really kind of come together nicely, built some nice chemistry, and done a pretty good job so far.
Okay, we're going to take a break, come back as the Zips go right back out on the road, this time to the Southeastern Conference to take on South Carolina Saturday night in Columbia. We're going to come back and give you a little preview right after this.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes E.H. Roberts Heating and Cooling. Find them at ehroberts.com.
Dear Dr. Kapler, you have shown over and over the immense love and passion that you have for developing not only great students, but more importantly, great humans.
That's beautiful. I absolutely feel the same way, not only about you, but about all my students.
It's so rare that you're going to meet someone that says, hey, you as a person, I care about you and I love you. And she does that for so many students.
Do I get to hug him? Yeah.
Okay, welcome back to segment number 4, brought to you each week by the Akron Fairlawn Hilton Hotel. Our scouting report, and we go right back into a tough environment. Down into South Carolina, take on South Carolina, the Gamecocks. They are coached by Shane Beamer in his 4th year. And Zip fans may remember Coach's dad, Frank Beamer. He was the head coach at Middle Tennessee when Akron and Middle Tennessee were both in the Ohio Valley Conference. He's played against the Zips a lot, so kind of a familiar name there.
Yeah, and a legendary coach at Virginia Tech, yes, for all those years, and a college football Hall of Famer. And the Beamer coaching legacy is certainly one that's very well established and well respected.
They've got a great win on the road against Kentucky. Then last week they led LSU for most of the game, end up losing a tough one.
Yeah, there were a couple controversial calls there at the end of the game. South Carolina had a couple pick sixes and a couple pass interferences, calls that didn't go their way, but yeah, had the top 10 team on the ropes and just weren't able to finish it off.
Their quarterback, Lenora Sellers, injured his ankle against Kentucky, came back against LSU, tweaked it again. I'm not sure we're going to see him, Coach, but Bobby Ashford, 6'3", 235, may be the quarterback.
Yeah, Lenora is an excellent player, dual threat guy, beat with his arms and his legs. I actually coached Robbie at Oregon, know him very well. His mom, Melanie, fantastic family, very talented kid. So whether it's Lenora or Robbie in there, they have a similar skill set, and both guys that are incredibly talented.
Yeah, whoever the quarterback is Saturday, they're going to hand the football off to Raheem Rocket Sanders, the Arkansas transfer. Had a long TD run against LSU. You have seen your share of great running backs this season already.
Yeah, I don't think it would be a horrible idea for Coach Beamer to give him the week off. So heading into the Ole Miss game, so yeah, definitely one of the top backs in the country, and we'll need to be well prepared.
They got 4 starters back on the O-line as usual. Big power conference. They have some big people up front.
Yeah, it's an SEC team, and they're going to look like an SEC team.
Exactly. A lot of excitement down in Columbia. They had college game day there last week, and the Zips will be there on Saturday, 7:30 kickoff. Coach, best of luck down there. We'll see you down in Columbia. We'll see you right here next week for more Zips Weekly. And always remember, go Zips.
This has been a presentation from Learfield IMG College.